Good day, everyone. I am Genevieve Diongson, and today I will be discussing to you the technical writing process, a structured approach that helps us create clear, concise, and effective technical documents. So, by the end of this discussion, you will gain a deeper appreciation of how technical writing helps bridge the gap between complex information and its intended audience. But before we proceed to our discussion proper, let's first have our learning objectives. So we have this content outline of the given report. So we have here the overview of technical writing as well as the planning phase in technical writing, which we will explore further later on. So what is technical writing? So technical writing is all about making complex information easier to understand. So according to Guru 2024, it is the ability to present information clearly and concisely. And Markel 2010 further explains that technical writing simplifies complicated concepts and provides specialized knowledge for a specific audience and purpose. So this type of writing is commonly seen in reports, manuals, and instructional documents. So the goal is to ensure that readers, whether experts or non-experts, can understand and use the information effectively. So without clear technical writing, important instructions, processes, and knowledge could be misinterpreted or lost. So let's now proceed to the purpose and importance of technical writing. So the main purpose of technical writing is to communicate specialized knowledge in a clear and effective manner. So it simplifies complex ideas so that a specific audience can easily understand and apply them, and its importance cannot be overstated. So, in a professional fields like engineering, medicine, business, and IT, technical writing enhances productivity and reduces misunderstandings. So, it acts as a bridge between experts and non experts, ensuring that critical information is accessible. So now that we understand why technical writing is essential, let's explore the key characteristics that define it. So first we have the clarity and conciseness, meaning the language used is direct, accuracy and reliability, making sure that all information is factual. Another characteristic is audience centered, which means that technical documents are tailored to the reader's level of knowledge, objective and neutral tone, focusing purely on facts rather than personal opinions, and well structured format using headings, bullet points, and visual for better organization. And finally, purpose driven, aiming to inform, instruct, or guide the reader in completing a task. So let's now proceed to the planning phase in technical writing. So why is planning important? So planning phase is the first and foremost important step in technical writing because it helps create a clear, organized, and effective document. So without proper planning, a document may become confusing, difficult to read, or irrelevant to the reader. So think of writing like cooking a meal. Of course, before you start cooking a meal, you need to know who will eat the food, what dish you want to make, what ingredients you need, and how to prepare them. So, in the same way, planning in technical writing ensures that the document meets the needs of the audience and serves its purpose well. So we have here four key steps in the planning phase. We have the understanding the audience, identifying the purpose, knowing your topic, and conducting research. But let's first discuss understanding your audience. So why is it important to understand your audience? So before writing, it is crucial to know who will read the document because the audience affects the language, tone, as well as the complexity of the content. So if the writer fails to consider the reader's knowledge level, the document might be too difficult or overly simplistic for them. So for example, when writing for experts, technical terms and in depth explanations may be appropriate. However, if the audience consists of students or the public, it is better to use simpler language and clearer explanations for them to easily comprehend and understand what you are trying to convey. So knowing your audience help you decide what words to use, how much detail to include, and how formal your writing should be. So different people needs different explanations. So here are the key considerations. First is who will read the document. Are there experts, students, or the general public? So this is what I've told you earlier. So understanding this helps in choosing the right level of complexity. Second is what do they already know about the topic? So if the readers are already familiar with the subject, the writer can avoid unnecessary explanations and just focus on deeper insights. And lastly, what level of technicality is appropriate? So the complexity of terms and details should match the audience's knowledge level. So we have here an example. So if a student is writing a thesis proposal for their professor, they should use formal and academic language with well-organized arguments and references. However, if they are writing a group project summary for their classmates, they can just use simpler and more casual language to make the explanation easier to understand. Next is identifying the purpose. So every document should have a clear purpose or it may become unhelpful or unclear to the audience. So the writer needs to know why they are writing so that they can stay focused. So we have here common purposes in technical writing. First is to inform. So it provides factual information and details. For example, a research paper explaining climate change. Next one is to instruct. It guides the readers on how to do something. For example, a lab manual explaining an experiment step by step. Next is to persuade, which convinces the reader to act or agree with a point. For example, a proposal asking the school to add more computer labs. So we have here another example. We have if a student is writing a proposal to ask the school for a bigger budget for student activities, the purpose is to persuade school officials to agree. Another example, if a student is writing a final report about their science project, the purpose is to inform the teacher about what they did and what they learned. Next one is we have knowing your topic. So why is it important to know your topic? So a writer must fully understand the topic before writing. So if the writer lacks knowledge, the document may contain errors, vague explanations, or even incorrect information. So we also have here the key considerations. Do I have enough knowledge about this topic? So, lack of understanding may result in weak arguments or errors. Another is are my sources credible? So, reliable sources ensure accuracy and trustworthiness. And lastly, we have the can I explain this topic clearly? So, the ability to simplify complex concepts is essential for effective communication. For you to fully grasp the topic, we have here two examples. So first, if a student is writing a research paper on climate change, they need to understand topics like greenhouse gases, global warmings, and environmental policies. Because if they do not research properly, they might include wrong information that confuses the readers. Another example is if a student is writing an instructional guide on how to use a new software program, they need to fully understand the steps before explaining them to others. Otherwise, their instructions may be unclear or incorrect. So the last step that we must remember is conducting research. So why is it important to conduct research? So research helps ensure that document is accurate, up to date, and of course, reliable. So good research strengthens the credibility of the writing. So we have here two types of research, which is the primary research and the secondary research. So primary research is collecting new information through surveys, interviews, or experiments. On the other hand, secondary research is using books, academics journals, websites, and case studies to find existing information. So we have here an example. So if a student is writing a feasibility study on opening a coffee shop, they may do primary research by surveying students to see if they would buy coffee on the campus, and do secondary research by reading case studies of other successful student-run coffee shops. Another example is a student is writing about the effects of social media on mental health. They can do primary research by interviewing students or their classmates about their screen time and emotions, and do secondary research by reading psychology articles about the topic. So, in conclusion, technical writing process is a fundamental skill that ensures clarity, accuracy, and effectiveness in communication. So, by following structured steps like understanding the audience, identifying the purpose, knowing your topic, and of course, conducting research, writers can produce well organized and impactful documents. So, whether in education, business, or technical fields, mastering this process enhances productivity and prevents miscommunication. So, ultimately, technical writing serves as a bridge between complex information and its users, making knowledge more accessible and actionable. So, as we apply these principles, we can become more effective communicators, ensuring that our message is not just written, but truly understood. So that wraps up my discussion for this session. You may also check my references if you're interested. So thank you for listening, and I hope you've learned a lot.